Hey everyone, how you doing? This is Amon Green, Green Bay Packers all-time leader in rushing, and you're watching Packers Total Access Live, your daily source for Packer content. Go Pack, go!
What's up, guys? Welcome into the PTA post-game show. My name is Clayton. You can check us out on Packernet.com. Find me on Twitter at Packers_access. Joined alongside Emilio in Tennessee. We got Tim in Green Bay, Wisconsin. We got Jacob in Wisconsin here to talk about this Packers dub over the New York Giants in a windy Meadowlands. Those Packers get to win 27-20. Going to go around the horn and get everybody's take right off the bat. Man, this was a fun one to watch. You're talking about up and down. And this is the kind of win I feel like, yeah, it may have been against what many would say a lesser opponent, but the reality is you were without your starting tight end, your number one receiver, your starting center, arguably your number one corner, a first-round pick and a starting defensive lineman in Lucas Van Ness. You lose the heart and soul of your team, Josh Jacobs, in the middle of the game. Romeo Doubs was in and out of the game. I think we lost key special teams player in Aaron Mosby at one point. Your kicker, Brandon McManus, is banged up, so he missed the game. You go to your backup kicker, and then you still come away with a 27-20 victory on the road. The middle eight, 6-6. We win the turnover differential, technically 2-0, although one of those turnovers came on the very final play of the game. My initial thoughts, man, when the game's on the line, think player, not play. And think about that comment. That's an old Belichick quote, right? Think about, and it actually stemmed from the Parcells' entire coaching tree. But think about that quote, and who did Love have to go to? He had to go to a rookie wide receiver in Savion Williams. And what a hell of a catch. One of the things I tweeted out was that Savion Williams contested catch, as you guys remember, when we watched the tape and broke it down when they drafted him, it's all over the TCU tape. And then, of course, he goes back shoulder to Christian Watson with the game on the line, in double coverage, into the wind. As Tim pointed out, bad snap. I think it was high into the left, corralled that thing, and just throws a dime piece out there to Christian Watson. Evan Williams with the interception on the next drive. And then, of course, Micah Parsons just throwing the dagger, as we hear so eloquently said all the time on Packers sports radio. Micah Parsons throwing the dagger with the sack. Tim, man, this is a fun win here, dude. This is the type, may have been against a lesser opponent, but boy, oh boy, this is the type of win that can create some serious momentum for the rest of the season.
Amen to that, man. I thought it was a gritty performance by a team that's banged up. Both sides of the ball found a way to come together and do what we talked about in the pregame show. Just leave there with a win, and they found a way to get it done. The defense showed up when we needed them to show up the most there at the end. Evan Williams finally getting a pick that probably could have been pick number 6 or 7 of the day. Had we capitalized on some of those opportunities earlier. But bottom line is these guys believe in each other. We saw time and time again, Rome was struggling with drops, and they kept going to him. And Rome made some huge plays for us down the stretch in this game. So there's a lot to be said, just the resiliency of this banged up young Packers team to, being down Josh Jacobs, losing, huge members, both offensively and defensively in this game. I thought, it's good for morale. Let's put it that way. We got it done, And as far as the kicking game goes, I mean, the kicking game's a joke. They were playing in a tornado bowl. There's no real need to break down the missed extra points and all of that. So I thought they gritted through it. Magic number 27. We'll take the dub. We're undefeated when we put 27 on the board, so we'll take it.
You're muted, Clay.
Clayton? Still muted, Clay.
Yeah, you're we got you on the lockdown there, Clay. The muted mic anyway.
Oh, look at that. What happened there? Somebody mute me? Dang, boys. I pissed somebody off.
Oh, that was you, Bob.
All right. Here we go. Ben Avery with the super chat. Thank you so much for the big dono there, buddy. You are the man. When the commentator said, count that as another drop for the Packers, when Nixon didn't get a pick, I chuckled, regardless, fly the dub. That's the other thing, Emilio. When you watch how everything unfolded, I got to be real, man. I kind of felt bad for Love. And you guys know last week it was, he kind of had a bad week, right? He had a bad game. I would say he did anyway, once you go back and watch the tape. This week, it just felt like his receivers weren't doing him many favors, right? And boy, it's like he never loses confidence. And you know that clutch graph we showed the other day? You remember that on the show? We showed like he's actually top 4 in the last, whatever it was, 20 years in terms of opportunities and whether you bring your team from behind. He just keeps adding to it, man. So, again, thank you for that super chat, Ben. We appreciate you, buddy. What's your initial thoughts here, Emilio, on that?
No, absolutely appreciate that, Ben. And Nixon was around the ball a couple of times. It was close. A few times the team had their hands on it. Bull had his hands on one. Carrington almost had one. There were so many chances there. It didn't fall our way for some reason. But we need to have a couple of those. Obviously, you get the one at the end, just enough time to kill it, and then you get your defense out there, get the win, get out of there. But it was a tough game at first. We couldn't really stop the run. We were getting worked in the trenches. The D-line was getting pushed back. It seemed like it was a 5-yard run every time for them. You kind of saw what happened when Quay got knocked out. Nothing against McDuffie, but it just, we weren't hitting it. We were kind of getting stuck on the second level. It seemed they were getting up to it. And just Coop had a tough game, missed that one tackle on that screen. That was a big play, middle 8. There was just so many things that didn't go right. We ended up with a W. I'm happy about that. Again, a lot to learn from. I think that we're going to need to kind of dive into this tape a little bit.
It's going to be a fun tape to watch for sure, man. I'm excited to look at some of the concepts, and they kind of alluded to it on the broadcast too. Jacob, it almost felt like what Jordan Love had to do was drift and find a little time for the secondary windows, right? And listen, Dexter Lawrence, a hell of a defensive tackle. If we had had time to do the game plan this week, he probably would have been the only Tuesday player on their defense, but he is dominant. He's a really good defensive tackle. So Jordan Love just hanging in there until the very end, man, and obviously making things happen. Mike Hebring with the super chat. Thoughts on offensive line play? Same, better? I would say about the same, although I did see Sean Ryan. I felt like he played pretty good, other than it seemed like there was a few snaps that were a little errant. You're going to get that with a guy that plays guard and filling in at center, obviously. Hopefully they'll kind of hone that skill in. And
the wind whipping around in the backfield on a shotgun or a pistol look is probably not helping you either.
It's crazy to think that in that short a distance that the wind could take a shotgun snap, but you've seen it. You've seen it on TV. So, Jacob, man, what's your initial thoughts, dude? I know you had to go over to B-Dubs to watch the game. You didn't come home with 16 ladies, did you?
Unfortunately not. It was a frustrating day, if I'm going to be honest. We usually like to be glass half full kind of stuff here, and I still maintain that we did more good than bad. Obviously, we came out with a win, so that's what counts. I would be hard pressed to say that I wasn't disappointed in the effort that we actually put out there. Like I'll just say that. It did seem sloppy. Obviously, losing Jacobs right away is going to just absolutely just kind of put a flat tire on your offense. I saw Dobby uncharacteristically in the beginning of the game dropping balls that hit him right in the hands. Can't have that. And offensive line, I think that for whatever they were asked to do, to your point, Sean Ryan had a couple mishaps, but overall, I think that he did okay. That being said, I think that the team's effort overall was, I'd say, lacking. If I have to be 100% honest, I'd say that I would have wanted to see more from them. A win's a win in the NFL. I understand that, but it definitely didn't give me a bunch of confidence to go forward, if I'm being honest.
Gotcha. Hey, we appreciate the honesty, man, for sure.
That's just the way it left a weird taste in my mouth. I'll say that.
Got it. All right. H.E. Soda with the super chat says, interesting that they moved the pocket with Willis but kept Love fairly stationary. The thing I noticed there too, Soda, was the running game came alive when Willis came in. Now, obviously, it's some of his mobility, but at the same time, I mean, why not run a little more zone read? You've got Love. You can tack on a RPR on the end of that zone read, right, and still get the same effect. You're just not truly scrambling with Love. You're just kind of setting up a secondary throwing window there for sure. I think I know what you're saying, Soder. Something's a little weird there. But then again, when you get the arm that Love's got, you can kind of understand why they want him throwing from the pocket too. You guys got anything to add to that, Emilio? Is anything triggering your mind on that comment?
Yeah, the first thing when Willis went in, all I said was we're going to start seeing that triple option, little read option, right, boom, back-to-back plays. You get that, you spring it, explosive run, and it's just a different changeup. And the fact that Willis stood in there and ripped that thing to Christian, and Christian plucked that out of the air, Christian is the best player around ever to play the football game. And he's just that's all I was. Every time he was out there and caught the ball, Christian's literally the best player ever to play. So I was.
If you guys are wondering what that means, Emilio, he told us the inside joke with him and one of his buddies, but he was just texting us anytime something good happens.
Yeah, anytime something good happens in college football, that's what you scream in the mic to your buddies. But yeah, that's what I felt like with Christian out there today. And honestly, Jordan was even saying that she goes, "What is the problem with 86 to 90 or 86 to 89 on jerseys right now? Well, They all were having a tough day off the bat. I love that Dobbs came back and was fighting a couple of hard hits on the ground there, hoping he's feeling all right. And Musgrave and Fitzpatrick." You had a couple of hiccups there. Josh Wiley comes in, gets a touchdown, has a hiccup on a hold. We're just beating ourselves, man. There's so many dumb penalties that are getting us into problems.
That's what's crazy. You get a 27-20 victory on the road, tied middle eight. You win the turnover differential 2-0, and you still haven't played your best game yet. You still
not even close. Not even close.
To Soder's point, I think too, the first thing I thought of was when Malik had to come in the game was we're going back to that, game plan we saw from Indy and Tennessee last year. And I think that's why they maybe made a concerted effort to get him moving back there, because good things can happen, especially when you're down knocking on the door, right?
Yeah.
Definitely.
Brambo with the super chat. Thank you, Brambo, buddy. He says Watson is wide receiver 1. We talked about when he was coming back from the injury. Yeah, he's not been able to run as much and do the cutting and things like that. But I wonder if he's behind the scene. He's definitely got the best grab of the playbook. And I say that even more so than Dobby, because Dobby predominantly played boundary X, right? Christian's a guy that played speed Z. He'll play F, and they'll also push him to X when Rome ain't in the field. If you
want to come in the block.
He'll play the wing. He's all over the offense, right? So he's got a good grab of the offense. He's a speed demon, athletic freak. And we talked about in the offseason, I bet he's on the jugs machine. There's limited on what he can do. Tim, you're seeing it. You're seeing it firsthand, bro. This guy, his hands are way better than they have been in the past.
You're talking about 2 huge tutters on contested catches, right? Now, yeah, he had that over the shoulder that was in his hands. That would have been nice to hang on to, but that was good defense there too. Great ball by Jordan, thin margin of error. Hey, that happens in football, man. It's a difficult game to play. But when we needed it the most, Scoot was, big time. That first one from Willis was incredible. He had an arm in his face the entire time.
That's crazy.
And then, to grab that second one that Jordan, again, able to get that ball off schedule on a high snap and just no hesitation. He just threw that ball to Scoot, knowing, put it in a spot where my guy can get it and he'll get it. So you can't say enough about Christian Watson. And of course, blocking homeboy into oblivion there on the touchdown to Wiley. That was a thing of beauty. Well, I'm sure that one made chalk talk. We'll see Christian setting that pick.
Just a little rub, Tim.
Rub. Man, that was beautiful. Yeah. Gotta love it.
Shout out. And again, Brambo, thank you for the super chat. Ben Avery became a member, and he gifted 10 Packer fan total access memberships. Thank you so much, Ben. So we'll make sure we'll do the giveaway tomorrow, and we'll give away an autographed card of some sort. That we got a bunch of them over here, so we'll get a nice one in the works. Maybe another LVNC, and he should be back next week, I would imagine. But Ben, thank you so much for the kindness, everybody. Mike Hebring with the super chat. Got to be Watson, Reed, and I think he means here
Golden.
Right. Golden in 2026. Yep. Yeah, we've had a long conversation about throughout the entire season and really the offseason of whether Dobbs will be re-signed. I think everybody wants Dobby back at the right price. It kind of feels like maybe Dobbs has priced himself out of the Packers range because you've got so many pieces already in place for the wide receiver room in the future. So I think it's going to be hard to – obviously, you're going to want to pay Christian long-term now. We've got that little bridge deal, right? Mm-hmm. But you're going to want to pay him long-term. Reed's going to be up for a contract in a couple of years, right? Or one more year, I think. We got him under contract next year, and then he's going to be up in his contract year, right? And then, of course, Golden, you ain't got to worry about that for about 3 to 4 years. So – I agree with what Mike says here. Let's go around the horn with that real quick. We'll start with you, Jacob. How do you feel about this? And we'll pass it to Emilio. It's got to be Watson, Reed, and Golden in 2026. That's how I see it. Watson, speed Z, field side. Matthew Golden working the X and the boundary X. And then, of course, Jaden Reed is predominantly your F receiver. What do you think, man?
Yeah, I think I agree with Mike Hebring there. As much as I love Dobby, There has been some sputters here and there. As far as in the future going forward, I do. I think it's Christian Watson has just proven himself. Like, he is that guy. Just absolute steady Eddie, but also has the freak playability. Coming back basically without even any kind of sputter when he had that major injury. Just seems like it's seamless the way that he's came back. We obviously understand what we have in Jaden Reed, and hopefully when he comes back, that's going to add another catalyst to this offense. Matthew Golden, I think, is still maybe has a lot to be proved. Like, we haven't seen necessarily exactly what we would want to see out of a first round pick, but there's also, this is the NFL. It's very tough for him to come and make a splash play the way he has. I think that's a fair assessment. I still think that we're going to need, obviously, either a Malik or a Dontavian or somebody still to kind of have that 3 or 4. I mean, we went into this year thinking that we were stacked at wide receiver and that we would have no reason, to have to sign anybody. We had 5 or 6, 7 wide receivers that everybody thought were great. Injuries happen. The world happens. Stuff starts shaking around, and all of a sudden you're looking at yourself like, dang, we need to draft a wide receiver. I mean, it just that being said, I think that we do have a core group of guys that are willing to be our front runners for the first through 4 spots in that wide receiver room. So I'm still very confident in that. I just think that if anything, this year has told us that, like, you can't be sure of anything. You need to have a backup contingency at all times. And I'm just happy we got a win today. It wasn't pretty, but these guys came in, and I'm really proud of Christian Watson. Very, very, very proud of him.
Yep, absolute dog. I think that Mike's probably spot on that with that Watson, Reed, Golden. You got Savion Tucker, and it's tough because you're looking at the 2 Wicks and Rome. They both had a drop today. All right, 1 game. Let's see how the rest of the season goes. If we can get either of them at a good price, I'm more than happy to keep them here. They know what's going on with the offense. They know how to, they know where they need to be on the routes. Wicks ran a good choice route today. It's not like there's bad things coming out of the wide receiver room that aren't the people that we want to keep long term. It's just how you got to work the numbers and how you're gonna fit with the roster that you have at hand.
Yeah, Tim, how do you? I know you agree with me too that you'd love to have Romeo Doubs back. It's just is the money going to make sense, right, for both parties? What do you think about Watson, Reed, and Golden moving forward there? Now, if you've got Romeo as that 4th wheel, boy, you're feeling really good about the wide receiver room, I think.
Yeah, and I agree. You guys know I'm a huge Romeo Doubs fan, but I doubt that he's going to take anything hyper team friendly, because that's what it would take probably to keep him around. So yeah, maybe he has kind of priced himself out when it comes to the Packers. So I'm with you guys and Mike here. I mean, that's your core, right? You got Bird, you got Scoot, and you got the Golden Child. That's how you're gonna want to move forward. And we've got other role players as well, like Jacob mentioned. So it'll be sad, but I'm thinking, at the end of the day, you're right, Clay. It's a business, right? And more than likely, it's a pretty high chance that Rome's probably not a Packer after the season. But that doesn't mean we can't enjoy the ride, because I still feel like the way he's playing now, man, the confidence this team had to just keep targeting him even after he struggled early in the game. I thought, playing with the chest injury, he got helmet over the bridge of the nose early. We saw him; he had turf pellets in his eye, and took a couple shots himself and really gritted out a tough performance to help us win this game. He had a couple clutch catches for us. So love Bobby, but we got to enjoy every minute we get with that guy the rest of this year, because it looks like the writing's on the wall for sure.
Yeah. Mike, thank you for that super chat, buddy. We appreciate you. So when you look at the wide receiver room, since we're kind of on that topic here, Romeo Doubs had 8 targets, 4 catches, 53 yards with a long of 22. Had a couple crucial catches. He really did. Christian Watson, only 5 targets, 4 grabs, 46 yards, and 2 touchdowns with a long of 17. Savion Williams, 1 target, but boy, did he make a guy 33-yard grab with the game on the freaking line. Just an unbelievable catch. Then Matthew Golden got 3 targets, only 1 catch for 24 yards. So, I mean, you look at that. I know there's some people that go, oh, you just got to throw Golden the ball, I kind of push back a little bit. Like, you don't need to force him the ball just because he's a first-round pick, right? Yep. You need to throw to where the scheme tells you to throw the ball. And I think people are finally starting to realize that, hey, this is a scheme thing. It's not a we don't trust Matthew Golden thing. It's a whatever the scheme dictates where the open receiver is, that's where you need to go with the ball. And that's where we really missed an opportunity last week to knock off the defending Super Bowl champs, is you had guys running open And maybe Jordan didn't get to the right answer in the scheme. It was more so locking on to certain receivers at times, or maybe not just, not trusting his eyes. But Dontavion Wicks, 2 targets, 1 catch for 9 yards. Emmanuel Wilson, 1 target, 1 catch for 9 yards. Fitzpatrick. And of course, Wiley, man, hey, listen, that was a clutch catch, right? That touchdown catch, that was a great job by Jordan to sell that play fake, if I remember correctly, and just kind of give him enough room, throw it up there. He's running butt naked through the trailer park. Are we allowed to give Matt LaFleur credit for scheming that dude open? Are we okay with that?
No, he's the worst. No.
What happened on that end around, Clay? I wasn't sure. Did we gain yards on that one, or?
Yeah, I don't know.
There was. I'm thinking, what, a swing pass or a screen pass, maybe to Josh Jacobs. I'm not sure.
Exactly.
I'm just wondering.
Could I pose a question to you guys though, real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Do you think it's pretty obvious? Is in my eyes, it is a little obvious that we're very much struggling with the lack of a Tucker Kraft in this offense. We had 3 targets to tight ends, 1 to Fitzpatrick, 1 to Wiley, 1 to Musgrave. Musgrave still, in my eyes, is just falling woefully short of what the second round draft pick would entail with him being, that high of a draft pick. It as much as I like Wiley and I think that Fitzpatrick is a good player, it seems as if we are definitely just scrapping to try to find a replacement for Tucker Kraft, which I don't think you can replace a guy like Tucker Kraft, to be honest. You just can't.
We said it as soon as he went down with the injury. We talked about it. We're like, listen, Musgrave is not Tucker Kraft. Musgrave is not going to make catches and run through people's faces. Musgrave is a guy that can stretch the field vertically. He can hit deep corner routes, things like that, which we seen Jordan missed on last week. A wide open corner route, he just didn't anticipate it. Kurt Warner broke it down extensively. That's what he does. They're 2 different receivers. Yeah, I think people, Jacob, they get caught up in, well, he's got a TE next to his name, so he needs to play tight end the way that this player plays tight end. And that's just not the case. Yeah. You've got different archetypes of players, just like Tyrone Tracy. Tyrone Tracy coming out of college was more of a dual threat back. Right. Well, now they've kind of forced him into. Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah. So to make him come in and just go, okay, he's going to be an everyday bruiser type back, that would be the equivalent to saying, okay, he's going to be an A-gap runner. Now, what did they do? They did a little bit of misdirection. They did some cross blocking and things to create a little bit of illusion of chaos, and were able to spring him a couple of times. But yeah, people get so caught up in just the specific positions as opposed to what do they do well. That's what good coaching staffs do. They put players in position to do what they do well. That's it. So, super chat here from Godsmack AR69. Can Evan Williams play wide receiver? He seems to have better hands than anyone on the offense, not named Christian Watson. It's funny, too, because, I don't know, before Christian Watson came back from this injury, people would have said he's got better hands than Christian Watson, right? Yep. Musgrave, oof. So, yeah, Evan Williams, it's a little bit easier to make a catch when there's nobody within 5 yards of you, and it's a lollipop throw from Jameis Winston, too. You're talking about guys having to shake DBs, get open in tight windows, and then make contested catches. That's a little bit different than if you put Evan Williams playing receiver. I know you're saying that tongue in cheek. He's not going to make those catches that these guys are asked to make. It's just not going to happen, right? But with that being said, Evan Williams, one of my favorite Packers boys. That dude, he just shows up every single week, play ball. I love the way he plays.
He's just a baller, man. He's just a baller. He comes in, and he never seems like the situation is too big for him. And one thing real quick, I saw some people in the chat talking about how about Bo Melton actually coming through and making some plays after a rough week last week. They threw Bo Melton in there quite a bit, as far as I'm concerned, as far as just a guy that is a cornerback. And all of a sudden, he made a couple really, really good plays. A win's a win, guys. And trust me, I'm sitting here being a little bit critical of the Packers team, but we needed a win. We got to win. There are some really good highlights to look at. We've talked about Christian Watson, certain play, like, Emmanuel Wilson showed up when he had to. It wasn't pretty, but here we are. We got to win, and I would love to see the way that the playoff, picture looks going at.
Yeah, we'll take a look at it before we wrap up here. Goose in the chat says one really important thing to take away from this game for the playoffs, the Packers never quit. They just kept fighting no matter what bad thing happened and got that dub. It's so true. They could have rolled over. I'll be honest with you, man. There was a point in that game where I'm like, man, it's just when I seen the injuries continue to pile up, Zach Tom leaving the game, Matthew Golden got hurt, Romeo Doubs got hurt, Quay Walker got hurt. All these guys, I literally just leaned back and was like, this just might not be the year, boys. Yeah. There's only so much you can overcome. I just listed off the 6, 7 starters that didn't get hurt in this game that were already out, right? But like Goose says, man, Emilio, they kept coming, dude. They were not going to be denied. And Jordan Love went out back on that field on that game winning drive and was just like, boys, get on my damn back. We got this. He looked cool as a cucumber.
Absolutely. It was something we needed to see. You know, you were kind of asking for that from him for a couple weeks probably. We need to close this out. We need to go down and get points in the 2 minutes, you know, put the team on your back. That's why you got paid the big bucks, all those things. And he did. He came through, you know, cool clutch.
I put the team on my back, dude.
That's exactly what he did. I mean, Greg Jennings, man, come on now. And that's everything, Jordan, that we needed to see from our QB1, right? You got a tough dude willing to put his shoulder down, ran a read option earlier in the game, scrambled, took a hit, went out, came back, and you just keep grinding. That's all you can do.
All I could think of when he threw that dot to Christian Watson in double coverage, Tim, all I could think about is our boy PTA Corey saying,
receiver by 10 yards.
All I could think about was just like, there are people out there that think Jordan Love is not a good quarterback. He's missing receivers by 10 yards.
Remember this guy?
Has he been in the chat? Keep an eye out for Maximum.
Him.
Yeah, thank you, Tim, for reminding me of that, sir. We need to put him on a milk carton this evening, I believe. You know what I'm saying? We got to send out a search party. Eric Sutherland in the chat. Musgrave, fine young man, but he's no bad mother tucker. That's a fact, right? And AI will probably read that as the F word, and we'll get dinged in the algorithm. So, thank you for that, Eric. It's why I never read your chats. Even when you're keeping it clean, you get us in trouble. But yeah, he's not, man. He's just not. He's not that type of player. I would like to see him split out wide. You know, I think we would all agree Tucker is not an attached true Y tight end, right? He can fill a role in U, right? Unless they want to shift the U to the H, which we've seen that multiple times again today, didn't we? Out of the odds, stuff like that with the running game. He's not that guy. I would like to see them give him an opportunity to be a big wide receiver. Go work with the wide receiver group and just put him there and see if he can create a spot there. Because he does kind of, you know, Jimmy Graham couldn't block, right? Jimmy Graham, you never seen him as like, okay, let's line up in a jumbo and Jimmy Graham's going to pave the way to the end zone with the Saints. But he was that dude. Hell, he filed a grievance against the Saints because he wanted to get paid like a wide receiver in the franchise tag, and they were still tagging him as a tight end. And his argument was, I never line up as tight end. I'm always lined up as wide receiver, right? So I think he's just that type of player, to be honest with you. And you know, will he play to that level? From what we've seen, probably not. But until you line him up there, how do you know, right? Yeah. So it doesn't mean you can't manipulate the blocking schemes with him on the field too. But Coach Lynn says, I'm proud of Jordan Love, got hurt, came back and bought it. I even forgot about that, Tim. Dude was banged up, right? I wonder what was going on with the shoulder because they probably shot that thing up. That was a hard lick.
I'll tell you, that was like the sigh of relief was when you saw Jordan back on the field doing the mobility, and I went, oh, thank God, because you're thinking the worst there, right? You're thinking collarbone, clavicle, separated shoulder, AC joint, what, you know, insert medical term that I don't understand here. But to see him come out there, and then to your point, Clay, like that ice water in the veins, that laser focus, like, all right, it's a ball game. You know, you have the best backup quarterback in the National Football League, Malik Willis, come off the bench, ice cold, and go down the field and throw a dart and keep us in this ball game. And again, it just shows the grit of this team. And great point by Coach Lynn. I was thinking the same thing, man. To see him come out and the way he approached everything about the rest of that performance was pure grit and heart. And cortisone shot probably helped, or whatever they gave him to kind of dull the pain. But he certainly played through it. He took another shot or two, if I'm not mistaken, after that too. So, you know, and that's where we talked about the offensive line. Let's stop helping Jordan off the turf and start keeping him off his back maybe here down the stretch. But way to stand in there and showed a lot of grit, man. He really did. He balled out.
Yeah, we got an update here from Matt Schneidman. LaFleur sticks to his standard line with injuries regarding Jacobs. There's always concern when a guy leaves and doesn't return, he says. Doesn't sound as grim as Jenkins and Kraft, etc. So I take that as good news for Josh Jacobs. But I thought Emmanuel Wilson kind of held his own too. I didn't even let's pop it up on the screen here real quick.
Yes.
Just take a quick gander. So, 11 carries for 40 yards. Listen, there was a couple times I felt like we got too far away from the run. I really did. Did y'all feel like that too in the middle of the game? Because I know I had in red pass. It was on 3 straight plays. We just passed the ball, and that was after we got the 4th down stop, or maybe it was just 2 passes, right?
That's why I love that first drive that Jordan came back in. and we get down in the red zone, and I know you'll see it when we do Chalk Talk and we watch the all 22, but he canned out of a pass there to hand that ball off to Emmanuel Wilson for that tutter. And that was brilliant football by QB1 right there, reading that defense and knowing that. I mean, Emmanuel Wilson could have ran that ball to the Bronx from where he was. I mean, that was a gigantic hole, and that was a great read by QB1. Gotta love
what
it.
Jacob was saying here. So Emmanuel Wilson, 11 carries, 40 yards, and a touchdown. Josh Jacobs, 7 carries and 40 yards. Bo Melton, 1 carry, 17 yards. That's a huge play. That's one Jacob was talking about. Malik Willis, that one scramble for 16 yards. Chris Brooks, one carry for 8 yards. So, guys, you had 23 carries for 128 yards and a touchdown. There was no reason to really get away from the run that far. But, boy, oh, boy, when they started winging it around that final drive, I wasn't complaining because it was working. So, it's funny how that always soothes things over a bit, right? So, what did y'all think about the running game? We'll go around the horn with that one time here. Let's start with you. Let's start with you, Jacob. Go ahead.
Yeah, just real quick while we're on the topic of Jordan Love and that shoulder, Ryan Wood was quoted. Jordan Love was on the podium. He said, yeah, that the left shoulder injury was manageable, quote unquote. He said it was good enough to return, but certainly not enjoyable to play through. To Tim and y'all's point, like, what an asset Malik Willis is coming in, and just I had no worry when you walked in. He just kind of took the offense over. Definitely a little bit of a different kind of play style than Jordan Love has, where it's almost like I wouldn't say he's a run first type quarterback because I think that is a disrespect on the way that he can throw the ball around. But he just he's a big bodied guy. He comes in there, he did what he had to do, throws the touchdown to Watson, exits the game. Love comes back in. Offense starts going bad, like almost like they didn't skip a beat. And to your point again, I think Emmanuel Wilson, guys just kind of, this wasn't a pretty win. It wasn't. I'm not going to sugarcoat it, but guys came in and did what they had to do when their number was called. And I just really think it's a tribute to how well this team is coached. People want to sit here and talk about Matt LaFleur and how he can't do this and he can't do that. These guys are still playing for him. They are still playing for him. They still have confidence in each other. I thought it was an absolutely great team win, and just happy that it overall looked like that. But specifically, like to Coach's point, Jordan Love coming back with that injury and just kind of being honed in. No interceptions, right? He came in, started throwing dimes again. And why do we call him Jordan Love, Tim? Why is he number 10?
I don't know if Corey's going to like this.
It's going to piss someone off, Tim. Why are we throwing dimes?
Because he only throws dimes, man. That's why he wears number 10.
By 10 yards.
Yeah, we're with you, Coach. Really, really proud of Jordan.
When I saw that tape and he came back out there.
My knee.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, first
Give
thing
him
I
the perks,
thought,
baby.
because he looked more comfortable after he came out of the injury. It was like he settled in. I'm like, first thing I thought of was that clip.
Yeah, you saw the little square on the elbow right there.
I don't know. Life just seems good right now.
He's sitting there with that thing's spinning pretty free. We're good.
Exactly. Mike Hebring with the super chat. Thank you, Mike. He says 26 passes, 23 runs. Kind of like that ratio. I do not personally, and I know I am probably the only Packer fan that does not like that ratio.
I don't like that ratio because he was like 50% completions for the day. I'm not mad at that ratio on another game, but he was like 50% on the day. That's where I don't like it.
Yeah, see, I don't like it because you're 40-mile-an-hour wind gusts, right?
Yeah.
And you're playing a team that let's be honest. If we're going to criticize Matt LaFleur when they only score 3 points against the defending world champion Eagles and the top 10 defense, if we're going to criticize him, we've got to criticize Halfley a little bit for giving up 20 to the Giants, right? In a windy Meadowlands. So you obviously hear my voice. I don't want to criticize the defense. This is how the NFL works. One day your offense has got to pick up your defense. The next day your defense has got to pick up your offense. The reality is the defense gave up a bunch of long drives. That would be my negative of the day, to be honest with you.
Couldn't stop the run.
Yeah, exactly. So if you can't stop the run and they're controlling the clock, now you got those crucial stops when you needed them for the most part. But can we please put some respect on Matt LaFleur and the fact that with all these moving parts, with Josh Jacobs leaving the game, without Jaden Reed, without Tucker Kraft, without Elton Jenkins, without your starting kicker, knowing you can't rely on a kicker, chip shot there. With all that being said, his offense carried the water today. You scored 27 points on the road, and like Tim said, when you hit 27 points, you typically win the ball game. So, Mike, I disagree because I feel like because of the weather and the current situation, and also that fourth down stop, you got pass happy after that when I felt like you should have just leaned into the run and kind of put them on the ropes. Now, if he catches those deep balls, I'm singing a different tune. But Emilio, you disagree, right? You like that, and I think Tim, I think you nodded your head. You like the 26-23, right?
I do. I would have liked to see a little bit more runs, but I do think, losing Josh kind of made Matt a little gun shy about,
That makes
really
sense,
sticking with it. But that being said, I thought Emmanuel Wilson played damn good today. We even saw Chris Brooks get a carry or two and kind of pitching in the backfield there. But I agree, man. When you got a nasty game like that, you want to try and keep it on the ground. I mean, look what the Giants did. I mean, they kept it on the ground. They ran all over our asses today. And that's what I would have liked to have seen from the Packers, but I'll take it. I'm not unhappy with that ratio, but I think it's due to losing Josh that we probably leaned away from the run a little.
I'd say you're probably right. Matt Schneiden tweeted out a Matt LaFleur quote at the podium, quote, "I still don't know which way the wind was blowing." That was wild. And the kickers didn't know either. You seen they were trying to draw it right. They were trying to hook it left. And it's like they were guessing wrong every time. The ball was just going haywire, both sides of both teams there.
I think it is a great ratio. I just because 5, 6 of those, 7 of those may have been drops. I mean, it was so if we're looking at the numbers, it's not terrible. If we didn't have those drops, like we've been doing a lot better at this year, that's a real good look. His completion percentage is probably 60, 70s, and we're totally fine. That's the only thing I would push back on. It wasn't all of them that they, when taking them, you got a couple of those flats and a couple of them just hit you in the chest. We got to have those.
Yeah. Yep. And again, I know if I were to poll this on Twitter and say, hey, would you rather us pass more or run more?
Right.
It would probably be 90% pass, 10% run. I know I'm in the minority for that. So, and Jacob, you agree with it too, right? You like to pass the more passes?
I do, just because kind of to Emilio's point from a few weeks ago, or maybe just last week, I just feel like this offense is more potent when we're up tempo and when we're kind of going with some quick passes, then pepper in the runs, that kind of thing. And then to Tim's point, losing Josh Jacobs, it just kind of it's just a wrench in your spokes as far as trying to get that running game going. Overall, I thought they did a good job. It's tough sometimes when you run on first down, run on second down, set yourself up for the third and short or third and long, and it just feels like you're ice skating uphill kind of thing. I will say, just a random note, Davante Adams just had his 1,000th NFL catch. It happened to go for a touchdown. Davante, even though you're not in the green and gold, I still love you, buddy.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Hey, Davante told me to send you a message, Jacob.
Wash your hands, wash your butt, man. That's it. That's all.
Especially after leaving B-Dubs, man. I know it's grimy over there. Emilio used to be at B-Dubs, so we got him.
Terrible establishment.
I wish we had that exact quote when we were in the slump in 2020. What was it, 2023, right? Emilio said, "I'm tired of spending too much money sitting on these uncomfortable stools watching the Packers from 20 feet away from an undersized TV."
Yeah, it was brutal. I mean,
terrible wings.
Absolutely terrible.
Mike Evering with another super chat said the Giants only averaged 3.7 yards per rush. So looking at the team statistics here, they picked up 10 rushing touchdowns rushing first downs on the ground. Okay.
Yeah.
That was the big thing, right? It just
seemed like I meant about running all over our ass.
Well, even 3.7, multiply that by 3. That's a first down for me. I mean, that's a you run that 3 times in a row. That's quick math. That's 10 yards right there. So they're still marching down the field on us. Yeah, it's not over 4, but that's a first down every 3.
The other thing too was the fourth down efficiency. They were 3 of 4 on fourth down. Right, they were running the ball for the most part there as well. So that's probably why it feels like the rushing yards were a little worse than like what Mike's pointing out here. Right now, yards per play, they averaged 4.9 yards per play just total. The Packers were at 5.8 yards per play. Okay. And then, like he said, 3.7 yards per carry. This is what I'm getting at right here, guys. That's why I wanted to see the ball ran more. Packers averaged, according to the team statistics, 5.6 yards per rush. 5.6, which, by the way, we said they were dead last in the league. I think it was 5.5 yards per carry allowed. We actually outperformed that, what they were averaging on the day. So, but again, I get it. I know I'm a very boring fan in that regard for sure. Mike, thank you for highlighting those numbers for us, buddy. We appreciate you. I want to highlight this because, man, Doc Torganzo, the coolest name on YouTube, said, I like to imagine Whelan is exactly like the Irishman from Braveheart. Crazy guy that talks out loud to the Almighty while being a badass punter. Boys, that final punt that he had, Tim,
like
was that not
5 yards, wasn't it?
It was. I know it was at least 6. And how about the one that he shanked it? I mean, you look, if you just looked at the kick or looked at the box, in the box score on that one, you go, oh, that's a bad punt. The way he handled that snap, Tim.
That was I don't know if that was a bad snap or bad snap and wind again. You talk about snapping to the punter. That wind's definitely picking up that football.
Oh yeah.
But I think Danny did a great job there to get rid of it. And then let's not let that be understated at all. That's another huge reason why we won this ball game today, because Daniel Whelan was able to use that beautiful Irish leg of his to relocate that football to the other side of the country and change that field all day long to keep us in this ball game. That last punt was that was a thing of beauty.
Clutch. It was
clutch. Yep.
I picture that scene in Braveheart where he's looking at me, he's talking to me, he goes, "Oh, you're a madman." He goes, "That's Daniel Whelan just kicking the ball." It's
crazy. You guys remember I had that video of him from camp when he was blasting 50 and 60 yarders directly into the wind.
You can hear it too.
Here we are in this game when we needed it the most, and he delivered, man.
Yeah. After saving another one, right? After saving one where the snap was off, got it off, line drive, get it out of there.
Yep, because if that gets blocked, boy, are we in trouble. Holy cow.
Daniel Whelan had 4 punts for 195 yards. 2 of them were inside the 20 in spite of the wind, and that long was 61, Jacob. That was a 61-yarder, man. That's just a freaking.
He got the snap down, even though it wasn't like the best hold. He got it down. Guy gave him a chance to kick it.
Mm-hmm. There you go. There's that free kicker talk for y'all today. How about that? Punter talk, I guess you could say. So, all right, let's move it along here real quick. Let's go back to the box score. I want to see how we did on defense and kind of see what pops out to you guys as we go right down. Well, first of all, how did Savion do on kick returns? He only had 1 for 33. Look at that. Pretty solid, right? Another solid kick. He's a damn good kick returner, man. Savion is going to be a role player on this game, on this team. I really believe that.
Yeah.
And now maybe that you've seen what he can do and with the game on the line, let's give him a few more of those one-on-one contested catches too, right? Give him a shot because he's a big-body receiver. But moving on to defense, Isaiah McDuffie led the way with 11 tackles, 5 solo, and a half sack. Listen, he's going to kind of be the GOAT a little bit today, a GOAT in a bad way. That was all an old baseball term. Is when you call somebody a GOAT, it was actually a bad thing back in the day. But nonetheless.
We called them fishes.
Hell yeah. I agree. We call them fishes.
Like in lacrosse, you're saying? Like if you got a matchup, you're saying?
I've never.
Who?
Which I'm going to make him mad. I've never played field hockey, Emilio.
Yeah, we had a girls' field hockey team in my high school.
I bet you watched practice like a creeper up there in the tree.
I bet Jacob was the equipment manager.
Yeah.
All right. Isaiah McDuffie, 11 tackles, 5 solo, a half sack. Now, I kind of felt like it should have been pass interference. Thank God they did not throw it. Or did they end up throwing it? They did end up throwing it, didn't they?
I thought they did, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. Okay, so it wasn't that makes you go, ugh. Outside of that, and of course him with the pass breakup on Javon Bullard on the interception, right? Yeah. But listen, that's a tough ask.
That's tough to put that one on them, right?
Right. Yeah. So other than that, though, man, leading the team in tackles, let's go, dude. Step right in and filled in for Quay there. Obviously, with Quay banged up. Quay never returned to the game. Is that right?
No. Left arm, forearm, shoulder, something left arm. I don't know. Yeah. Hopefully nothing long term.
Evan Williams finished with 9 tackles, 5 solo, and of course he had the game-clinching interception. Keyshawn Nixon, 8 solo tackles. Pretty darn impressive, in my opinion. Quay Walker finished with 7 tackles, 1 solo. Edgerrin Cooper, 6 tackles, 3 solo, and a tackle for a loss. Micah Parsons, thank you, Jerry, 6 tackles, 1 solo, 1.5 sacks, and shout out to McDuffie on that half sack on that same play, finishing that off. Jameson was trying to squeeze out of there, and of course he put the dagger in it. Micah Parsons did with the final sack, and I felt like Javon Bullard played good. Boy, what about the timing on that throw, that back shoulder throw where he reaches back and bats that ball down? I mean, in real time, I thought, is that pass interference? I was waiting for the flag, and then you watch it back. That was perfect coverage by Javon Bullard. Every week we see it. Do we not, Emilio, that his coverage is getting better every week?
No. Can't be sleeping on him. All he got all off season was hate from the unhappy fan base, and you just don't hear about him. Every time he does better and better, you're hearing less and less about Javon Bullard. 47 snaps, 25 of them in coverage, dude. Right now, prelim 72-7 grade.
Yeah.
Love it.
Definitely. Yeah, as Jen said, their pass breakup again, man. I think he's going to be I think he's going to be just fine, man. He's one of those, I don't want to say a rare player, but some guys flash like Edgerrin Cooper their rookie year, and you go, okay, you got one. And then you got some like Carrington Valentine's another example, right? Like it took him a couple years to kind of get his feet under him, and then bang, he's a good pro, which I felt like he had a good day today as well. He should have had a couple interceptions, right?
Yeah, he had a couple drop picks, but he played really good in coverage. And again, back to Bull, man, I was up out of my seat. I almost broke my coffee table when he made that PBU. That was incredible because you're right. You go back last year, he's torched. That's a touchdown, right? So you're seeing the improvement here in year 2 from Javon Bullard being more than just a thumper and a good, tackler and things like that. He's able to cover now, and you got to be able to cover to play the slot, right? So I'm glad his game is improving and coming along, and I think we got a really good one in Javon Bullard for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And as Cheesehead Murph says in the chat, dropped like 4 interceptions. This could have been a 30-point blowout. It really could have. I mean, when it comes down to it. So
I think we're getting more and more closer and closer to the ball on defense. Like pass breakups are coming a little bit more frequently. We're punching at it. You saw was it Evan or Bull trying to rip that one away you stand him up, try to rip it out. We're getting there, man. We're so close.
Yeah, I completely agree. All right. Let's go around the horn here real quick. Anything else that you guys want to hit on before we jump into around the league and kind of give everybody an update on the playoff look here? Anything at all? We'll start with you, Tim. Does anything else stick out to you that maybe we didn't cover? We'll just go around the horn. I'm going to get this playoff machine pulled up too.
Yeah, just a reminder that we did win the football game, Packer fans. We did, in fact, win this game. I know it might seem like we didn't based on how it looks sometimes, but I'm fired up. Victory Monday tomorrow. It's been a while since we've had a Victory Monday, and hopefully this is the start of another win streak. We got some divisional games coming up. This is a big team win for a team that is honestly banged up across the board and stuck together and found a way to grit it out. So a lot to be excited for. Victory Monday tomorrow. Can't wait.
Yeah, Jacob, what do you got?
Yeah, just real quick, Zach Jacobson, obviously a guy that follows the Packers pretty closely. A couple different tweets of his that I thought were highlighted. He said, Matt LaFleur calls on Jordan Love's performance today against the Giants gritty and tough. He was under duress quite a bit. I gave it a thought that he did a really nice job of giving guys opportunities to make plays. LaFleur says just the mentality, because of when you hear a quarterback is in the locker room, that's not a great feeling. The ability to come back and play the way he did, because I was really proud of him. He went on to say about Matt LaFleur is keeping matters between the Packers and Malik Heath in-house after he was ruled out due to a coach's decision. He went on to say it was one of those decisions. LaFleur says, but we'll say this about Malik Heath, that he thinks he's definitely a valued member of the team, and he looks forward to talking to him tomorrow. Kind of interesting there. Last thing is there's a very Matt LaFleur answer. When they asked about Jacob's knee injury, he says, anytime a player, especially of his magnitude, doesn't finish the game, you're always going to be concerned about the welfare of them. Just,
Translation is?
I don't know. I'm not a doctor.
That's a tough answer. It's just
absolutely.
How else are you supposed to answer that? It's a tough answer, but we got to win, to Tim's point, and I'm just going to focus on the fact that we got to win. That's what I'm going to go to sleep with tonight.
There you go, man. There you go. United Bates continuing the tradition here with the score for the Super Chat, $27.20. Packers get a 27-20 victory. Anybody got anything else before we go around the league here?
I just want to read these two real quick and then a couple numbers. DJ Colvin from Rumble, appreciate you, buddy. Has anyone noticed this year how often the DB's hands right there, even on completions, feels like all of them playing pretty well? We were just getting at that. I love that. And she said, Murph, same idea. Yeah, Emilio, glad to see them getting better at pass breakups. Want them to have a 3-inch game is coming. It should have been there this game, honestly, the way we were playing. Yeah. But real quick, just some PFF early numbers. Top 5 for the offense. Savion at a 94.5. Jordan Love.
Read it one more time.
Savion Williams, TCU, Horned Frogs, 94.5. Okay, 2 plays.
He's a grown-ass man now. And
Jordan Love, 48 plays, 93.7.
What?
94 pass grade.
Good money don't make money.
Holy
Thank you. Number 3, Aaron Banks. Okay.
What?
Aaron Banks, 79.4, 55 snaps. Okay. Number 4, Christian Watson, 43 snaps, 78.7.
Mama, there goes that man.
And number 5, 7 plays, Malik Willis, 77.5. Absolute dog. Next one that played a lot of snaps, Zach Tom, protecting your boy. 52 snaps, 75-9.
Talk about a guy gritting through the pain and playing his butt off for this team. Shout out to Zach Tom, man.
And real quick, top 5 on the defense. Micah Parsons, 61 snaps, 90.3.
What?
John Nixon, 70 snaps, 84.7.
Let's go.
Evan Williams, 66 snaps, 82.8.
Nice.
Edrin Cooper, 71 snaps, 76 flat. And Mr. Horns Up Javon Bullard, 47 with a 72. Right behind him, tight, 72-6, Carrington Valentine.
What was the Bull score?
72-7.
Let's go.
Yeah, brother.
Well, let's see what we got tomorrow when we check them, right?
Yeah, right.
I love getting
all of them are in
everybody.
the 30s.
Yeah, top 5, get them all stirred up, see what they look like tomorrow.
I love that you do that, though, Emilio. Seriously, the preliminary, so we can kind of gauge it off of how they changed it and this and that. So I think that's good stuff, man. Thank you for taking the time to do that. Let's go around the league here, boys. Y'all ready to get an update on the scores and everything that happened in the National Football League today? All right. Starting off, we'll stay away from the live games here real quick, okay? Let's just jump into the games that are finalized, and we'll have to take it from the top and work our way down. So the Panthers improved to 6-5. I thought they were a horrible football team that we lost to. They win 30-27 over the Falcons. We were wanting the Falcons to win that game. Obviously, did not work out that way. We had the Bills did beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 44-32. We needed that help right there. That's great news for the Packers. You had the Houston Texans defeat the Tennessee Titans 16-13 in this week's toilet bowl. Actually, it wasn't a toilet bowl, but it could have been in contention, I guess you could say. So they get the dub there on the road in Nashville. And then the Bears, unfortunately, they did squeak one out. And by the way, can we just say the Minnesota Vikings, J.J. McCarthy is cheeks. Listen, it's early. I get it. He's kind of thrown to the wolves. He only got to sit for 1 year. But let's go around the horn with that one time, guys. Is it just me, or does every time J.J. McCarthy pops on my TV screen, does it not look like it's something went horribly wrong? Is that just me? As he went 16 of 32, Emilio, 150 yards passing, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. He wasn't sacked at all. Maybe he needs to learn how to take a sack, stop throwing the ball to the other team.
Let's just hope the crap show continues as the Vikings come to 1265. Let's go.
Yeah. Emilio, imagine, man, your little polygonal heroes are lining up on College Football 26, right?
Yep.
And those fans are showing up week in and week out. And imagine if you went 1-4 at home. That's what the Vikings are doing so far.
Yeah, running an Army dynasty. I'm 2-8 right now. It's pretty brutal running that up. And
humble brag.
Yeah. So the fans are not happy. But the only thing I would say about McCarthy, it's not looking great. It's not looking the best. They put up 14 in the fourth, and if somebody could have just covered on a kick covers, the Bears probably would have lost that game. But you literally see them bust a 50-yard run or a 50-yard return on that play, and you just blew the game open right there with 40 seconds left. Caleb just has to hand it off 3 times, and you're in field goal range. Yeah, McCarthy hasn't been looking great. I don't know what's going on there. Maybe they're going to start calling for play calling. Who knows? But he can still game when it's the fourth quarter. He turned it on last time they played the Bears. They should have swept them this year. They couldn't pull it out. Got
it. What do you think, Jacob? You're up there right on the border of that wonderful state of Minnesota. Is it just me? How do they feel about J.J. McCarthy? Are they still on board with what they refer to as 9, or do you think maybe they're finally coming to the realization that he's not playing the way they expect?
Well, to be honest with you, most of the team fans that I can see are actually pretty acknowledgeable that he's just not quite playing up to snuff right now. I think a lot of them are very butthurt that the fact that they let Darnold go and they let Daniel Jones go, they let everybody go, and now they're put all their eggs into the J.J. McCarthy basket, and those eggs are going sour, ladies and gentlemen, and I wouldn't eat those eggs for anything. It's tough. He's a young kid, though. To be fair, I feel like he's going through the Jordan Love stage that we had where it's a rough start. He's got the talent. To Emilio's point, when the game's on the line, he does seem to turn it on a little more. But all things being considered, man, I think that if you're a Viking fan, you got to be scratching your head. You got to be worried right now. You have to.
Yeah. Older Than Dirt says Vikings are spiraling. Wish they could have won today. The Bears will lose the next 4. And look at this, guys. We've actually got a Bears fan hanging out in here. Didn't y'all just win a ball game? What are you doing in a Packers broadcast, bruh? Is it that bad?
Rent free, baby. Rent free.
I could not imagine coming off a dub and then hopping into a Bears post-game show. That's hilarious. That's how miserable it is in the Windy City. So I can't wait to play that football team. Oh, my God, I can't wait. So, and I like what J. Cole said here. Somebody highlighted, but we skipped over it. Clay, that wasn't JJ. It was 9. So, yeah, anytime you get a quarterback.
9, look at the highlights from the Packers game today. There's a couple tutters from the real 9.
There you go.
Yeah, speaking of the Bears, look at passing yards for Caleb was at 193. Okay, took a sack. Clay, could you just scroll down for me real quick? Just down to there's somebody that he texted when they got drafted, and down a little bit more.
Is that the punter? Something like that?
Might be just down to a touch more. What's his name? Mr. Taylor.
Damn!
There it is.
Holy shit!
That's the one I was looking for.
Yeah, we're going to need to ice his leg down today. 6 punts, 286 yards.
Shoot,
yeah,
300.
If you're wondering what Emilio is referring to, Caleb texted Torrey Taylor when they drafted him, said, glad you're on the team, but we're not going to need you, bud. I don't know.
He's still punting for more yardage than Caleb. I don't know if he's leading this year or not.
He laps him every game. Every game he laps him. So.
Hey, Bates, can you show us the totals on the season of passing yards versus punting yards for Mr. Torrey Taylor there? That'd be great.
That would be a great look up there. So, again, the Bears squeak one out on the road in Minnesota. Now, listen, I love cutting on the Bears. I have a good time with it. One thing I'll say about the Chicago Bears, they are figuring out how to win football games, and you got to tip your cap to them. It's a damn shame that their fans are so toxic that they've got to jump into a Packers broadcast. So, again, we will meet very, very soon, and I can't wait for that day. Moving along. So the Bears improved to 7-3. The Vikings fall to 4-6, right? So obviously the Packers defeat the New York Giants. We're now 6-3-1. The Giants fall to 2-9. The Bengals get boat raced by the Pittsburgh Steelers, 34-12. Let's see what old number 8 did. The artist formerly known as 12. Oh no! Did he leave the game? Is that what happened?
Yeah, he messed up his left hand, I thought.
Lord have mercy! Look at Mason Rudolph coming in, 12-16 for 127 yards on that Bengals defense. That's wild. So, again, the Pittsburgh Steelers improved to 6-4 on the year. The Bengals fall to 3-7 out there in Pittsburgh. Also, the Jaguars. I did not have this on my bingo card, Tim. We talked about this game going into the week. The Jaguars come in and boat race the Chargers 35-6 at home.
Any given Sunday.
What's that?
Any given Sunday.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah. Justin Herbert, 10 of 18 for 81 yards and a pick.
Wow.
That is insane right there. So I don't know. Oh, yeah, I know what that is. Reports came out earlier today that their defensive coordinator, Coach Anthony Campanelli, who was our linebacker coach last year, he is now one of the front runners for the Giants head coaching job. They're talking about he might be a front running candidate for that job. So Campanelli flipped that defense like that in Jacksonville. That's wild to think about. So, again, gave them fits. Let's see who shined on defense for them. Josh Hines Allen. I could be wrong, but I think that's a Kentucky Wildcat. I may be wrong there. He had a sack. Trayvon Walker had a half sack. Eric Armstead with a sack. So they were just all in the backfield. Danny Strigile with a half sack as well. So they end up sacking the Chargers 3 different times, and the Chargers drop a tough one there, 35-6 in Jacksonville. And then, of course, the Thursday night game we already talked about earlier in the week, the Patriots defeated the Jets 27-14. Now let's go back to the games that are live right now, live action. The Rams are leading the Seahawks 14-6. Those are 2 7-2 teams. It's going to be really, really interesting to see how that one shakes out. The Niners are leading the Cardinals 19-10 in the second quarter. You got the Ravens and the Browns are tied at 3. Looks like I don't know what inning that's in. Where are we at there? 9 minutes left in the second quarter, 3-3. And then, of course, you got the Chiefs trailing the Broncos 6-3.
6-3 in the bottom of the 6th.
That's right. AFAM over there eating peanuts, watching the baseball game. And then, of course, tonight we've got – I can't wait for this. I'm going to go build a fire downstairs and just relax. We get the Lions at the Eagles. The Lions coming in 6-3. The Eagles at 7-2. Is there any of those box scores you guys would like to revisit before we move on to the playoff simulator?
Nope.
Yeah, no. Bates has a great highlight here. He says Williams, as in Caleb Williams, 2,329 yards. Taylor, as in Torrey Taylor, the punter, 1,683 updated with today, or maybe without today, if that means. But
with
that Okay. So even he's
in.
under 1,000 yards between the two of them. I mean, that wouldn't be something I would sure that he would boast about, but Bears gonna bear, man. Hey, to be fair, the Bears are 7-3. We're gonna have ourselves a big matchup coming up in a couple weeks. I'm gonna be at that game. Me and Tim are gonna go out. We're gonna have breakfast. We're gonna pregame, right, Tim? It's gonna be a great day. We're gonna beat them Bears.
Sure. Sure. Yeah.
You better do that.
You sure about that?
All right, so let's move on to the playoff simulator here.
Playoffs?
To the best of my knowledge, we have all of the games logged already, okay? So that have been finalized. So the way the playoffs sit right now, the number 1 seed in the NFC is the Philadelphia Eagles. Number 2 is the Seattle Seahawks, who are playing right now. Number 3 are the Chicago Bears. Number 4 are the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The 5th seed is the LA Rams. They're playing the Seahawks right now. So those will probably either flip or maybe the LA Rams will drop. I think we did this earlier in the week, and they actually won't drop any spots further than the 5th seed as it sits right now. Detroit plays tonight, and we'll kind of tell you what may happen there here in a second. They're the 6th seed. The Packers are the 7th seed as it sits right now. If we hop over to the AFC, New England's the number 1 seed, Indianapolis Colts number 2, Denver Broncos number 3, Pittsburgh Steelers number 4, Buffalo Bills 5, Chargers 6, Jaguars 7. That's how the AFC shakes out. So let's take a look at some of these games here that are underway at the moment. If the Seahawks win this game, the Rams still stay in the 5 seed. If the Rams win this game, they will improve to the number 1 seed and leapfrog the Eagles, with the Seahawks dropping to the 5 seed. So there's a lot on the line there. If Arizona can upset the San Francisco 49ers, they're not even in the playoffs right now as the 49ers sit, right? If the 49ers win that game, they're still not even in the playoffs. It's a glorious day when the 49ers are not in the playoff right now. So, and then moving along to tonight's game, let's say the Eagles win that game, and let's say the Rams beat the Seahawks, right? And the Eagles win that game tonight, they will maintain that number 1 seed. The Seahawks beat the Rams, then they'll just switch. The Seahawks are now the 2 seed, and the Rams go back to the 5 seed, right? Now, notice there is no Detroit Lions in this picture if the Lions lose tonight, boys.
Mm-hmm. No, because San Fran takes their spot.
Bingo. So now if Arizona wins,
we're all Eagles fans tonight.
So let's say Arizona wins that game. Do the Lions climb in? They still barely climb into the 7th seed, right? So that's kind of what's on the line there for the San Francisco game. Obviously, we're rooting for the Cardinals. Now, if the Lions win tonight, they jump to the number 2 seed. The Bears fall to the 5 seed, and we still sit in the 7 seed. So obviously, we want the Eagles to knock them off tonight. And they're going without Sam Laporta, who's now on injured reserve for at least the next 4 weeks. And it sounds like he will not be available for the Packers Thanksgiving Day matchup. I think that's huge news there as well. So anything you guys want to add to the playoff hunt there? Is there anything else I missed by chance?
Yeah, I just think that people that talked about the NFC North being one of the most crazy divisions in football, I think that's holding true. You look at the schematics, pretty much no matter what happens, you're going to see 3 of the 4 in those playoff situations. And again, as much as we want to poop on the Bears, and don't get me wrong, I like to poop on the Bears. They're winning games. They're finding a way to do it. And the Lions are the Lions. We're the Packers. We just got to come out and show out, and we got to figure out how to get this going on the back end of the season here.
Get ready to go.
No,
I think you created some good momentum today, boys. I really do. I think that's going to be a win we look back on and go, man, that's when things really just started. This team kind of gelled and things clicked. Got a lot of injuries to overcome, though. A lot of injuries to overcome. Tim, you got anything you want to add to the playoff hunt here, man, before we get ready to wrap up?
Yeah, it's fun to do these simulations.
Yeah.
It really is. But this football team's got to stay focused, and we got to go 1-0 again. Squeaked one out today. Great team win. Divisional. We got 3 divisional games in a row here.
Yeah.
We got to have these. We got to have all of them. So I think when it comes to the playoffs, I'm okay. I'll go in as a wild card. No problem. We've done it. We've done it before. We've been down this road before. We've been a 1 seed with a bye and got our asses kicked, the following week. So doesn't matter how you get into the show and storm after that Lombardi, and we'll have a parade on Lombardi Avenue. That's all I've got to say.
There you go. Worst case scenario, Emilio, let's talk about this real quick, okay? and then we'll move on. Let's say San Fran wins. Let's say the Rams win. Let's say that the Lions win tonight, okay? And that's how the playoffs look. Let's go into week 12 real quick. This is what we're faced with next week. You get the Bears playing the Steelers next week, right? We've got the Vikings at home, okay? And the Lions have the Giants. I think it's safe to say the Lions should be able to take care of business against the Giants at home, right? So if we were to click that, bang, the Lions win that game. Let's say we beat Minnesota, and let's say the Bears drop it to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Look at there, boys. All of a sudden, they're just one loss away from being out of the playoffs. Funny how that works. So, what do you think, Emilio? Anything else we're missing here, man?
No, it's just every win counts now. I mean, it's going to be kind of pretty much in our control. We're in the driver's seat. You control it. With how many divisionals are left, we control it, right? You've got the Lions again, and then 2-2s, Vikings and the Bears. We just got to make it happen. It's literally all in our control, all in the driver's seat. We need fundamentals practice. We need to hit a ladder drill. We need to do that one drill for the O linemen where they're under the bar, where they got to run underneath the bars for 5 yards and, stay low on the pad level. The D line got their pad levels kind of moved around on a couple of those sneaks. There's just some of that stuff that I think we need to hammer out big time coming into the end of the year. We got a couple quick turnarounds too. After you play them, you got to turn around 4 days later, play the Lions. So it's going to be quick and fast here moving forward.
Yeah, you talk about anything.
The gauntlet of the season is starting right
Absolutely.
now.
Oh, yeah.
And then you come off the Bears at home, and then you go to Denver, and then you go to Chicago. So one
season
week
starts right now.
What's that?
Yeah.
The season starts right now, Tim. I mean, whatever happened previously, whatever, dude. You got 5 divisional games right in front of you. This is when it starts.
Yep.
Yep.
Big win today to start off on the right foot.
Yep.
When we say anything can happen, by the way, just seen the highlight. The Baltimore Ravens tried to set up a screen pass. It got tipped in the air, picked off, taken back for 6. The 2-7 Browns are leading the 4-5 Ravens 13-3 right now.
Wow.
So
just like we all thought, the Brownies are going to win it all.
Right.
Basically, so Emilio, this is like the pinpoint of your season. You don't start simulating on varsity like you usually do, right? You got to actually play these games. You got to win them. That's what's up, right?
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, you only sim Jacob when it's not going well and you're mad at the game.
Okay.
It's the only time you sim it.
Gotcha, buddy.
Got it.
You do that, you're going to get your ass kicked in that.
All right, guys, we're out of here. Thank y'all so much for making us a part of your post-game festivities. Again, the Packers get a huge win here, 27-20 on the road. Jordan Love, man, I'm just so glad it ended the way it did with Jordan Love creating that momentum with Christian Watson. Now you put that on tape. Matthew Golden proved I think he's healthy. I think we're good to go there. Savion probably going to get a little bit more leash in the offense based off of that huge play he made. Let's pray in a circle around Josh Jacobson's health. We need him back, obviously. And, we'll get ready for Victory Monday tomorrow. Probably go live in the morning for a little Victory Monday coffee. Tim, if you're down, I'm down. And we'll wake up and celebrate the win at a little bit different level, go through the stats, all that good stuff, just take a look around everything that happened. I know we'll get a lot more information from all the beat reporters and all that stuff in terms of the injuries and things that may leak out. So, boys, appreciate y'all.
Can I say one more thing real quick?
Absolutely not. We'll see y'all tomorrow. No, yeah, go ahead.
I thought for sure it was going to end. Keyshawn Nixon just tweeted out or X'd out, whatever you want to say. Great team win. He's happy. Real quick, they're talking about Zach Jacobson. Jordan Love through 10 games, 210 out of 310 to 67.8% completion rate, 2,421 yards, 15 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions with the 1-3 passer rating. Let's put some respect on these guys' names. We're here, like to Emilio's point, we're about to hit the gauntlet. To Tim's point, we're about to hit the divisional games. This is where the metal meets the road. Let's go. Let's freaking find out how to win games. I'm just excited, man. What a journey, right? Let's go.
I thought you were going to say somebody was going to hit the pop is what I thought you were going to say. I was a little nervous there.
That could happen too.
Shout out to all the super chats tonight. Ben Avery, Mike Hebring, H.E. Solder, Brambo, Ben Avery again, Mike Hebring, Ben Avery becoming a member and gifted memberships. Appreciate you. Godsmack, thank you. Mike Hebring, and Bates keeping the tradition alive with the 27-20 dono. Everybody have a wonderful evening. We'll see y'all tomorrow for Victory Monday. Let's root for those Eagles tonight, as grimy as that feels. We'll see y'all tomorrow.
We're out. Bye, guys.